Tauniscia. For those of you who don't know me, if you're a new subscriber or person, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I post videos related to academics, faith, and here and there a bit of lifestyle. And so, welcome. I hope you feel welcomed. And for those of you returning subscribers, thank you for tuning in again for another video. I hope that all of you will find this video insightful and truly empowering. And so without further ado, let me get straight into the video. The title of this video is Your Choices Are Costing You Your Life. Dramatic, I know, but it came to me, and I think God was really pressing this message. I say message as if I'm gonna preach. Maybe a bit. But when I thought of like the video that I wanted to film, I had everything planned out already. The topic was different from this one. I was so set on it, and I actually I filmed it, but it wasn't correct, so I had to refilm it. And as I was about to refilm now, I feel like God just like put something on my heart. I really feel strongly about this that I'm going to talk about today, and so I really hope that you come with an open heart and an open mind to learn and just see a different perspective on the things that I'm going to be speaking about. And this video is not to judge anyone or condemn anyone. I'm not here for that. I'm not perfect. I still have a lot of things to work on. So I just want to clarify, this is for your own empowerment and encouragement, and also just to share my own perspective on the following things that I'm going to be speaking about. So without further ado, I say choices. Your choices are costing you your life. And I just want to reflect on the importance of choices. We all know what choices are. They are decisions that you have to make. Decisions about your own life, decisions about your life that may impact and affect others. And sometimes we are forced to make choices. We sometimes don't have control over whether we can make a choice or not, and we have to do it. And so sometimes choices are forced ones, and therefore they can be challenging. But even if they're not, depending on the degree of the choice that you have to make, whether it be deciding between whether you want vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream when going to an ice cream store, that's a choice, but it's not as important. Those are not the choices I'm talking about here and that I'm going to be focusing on. The choices I'm primarily going to focus on in this video are choices regarding your future and your life. And so, yeah. So you guys know the saying of there's two paths. The path that everyone takes, and then there's a path that is less traveled, or the one that not really a lot of people go on. And so in your life, you will come to a point where you're gonna stand in the middle of those two paths, and you're going to have to make a decision or a choice about where you're going. And usually most people, they take the easy path, the one that most people have already been through, because it's easier, it's safer, because you know a lot of people have gone through there. In their mind, they think it's safer. Very few people actually go to the path less traveled, because you don't know what to expect. It's uncertain, it's unknown. You don't know how you'll even make it, and it may be scary because no one has ever gone down that path. And this is very abstract, very metaphorical, but bear with me, I'm going to get to a point. And so when you're in the middle of those two paths, think to yourself, in any area of your life right now, maybe it could be academics, it could be your personal life, your spiritual life, and just any aspect of your life, to be honest, that's important to you. Are you going to, for example, I'm going to use my faith right now because this is something that's really been pressing on my heart, and I'm going to say it. So, yeah. You were raised in a Christian family, or at least everyone said that they were Christian, and you guys would go to church. Because that was me. We went to church like every single Sunday when I was smaller. And then eventually, like after my, I don't want to be dark now. After my my grandmother, who is the one who really forced me to go with her to church every single Sunday. I didn't like waking up early, but anyways, that's beside the point. As a child, I always went to church, but the moment my grandfather was no longer there to take me to church due to a passing, we visited less frequently, my mom and and I came to this point in my faith as a child, or when I was young at least, where I was like, am I gonna continuously seek God and actually go to church and actually get to learn more about Him than I already have at the previous church that we were at, where, to be honest, I didn't really learn a lot about Him because they were so surface level about what they told us about God, and there were just so many other things that was corrupt. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, although I didn't have a lot of control over whether I was going to go to church or not, but I think I could have made the active effort and choice to actually want to go to church, because to be honest, we had like 2 churches in my neighborhood, so I could easily walk to them if I really wanted to. So I had this choice to actually, you know, go to church and actually put the effort in as a young child to go there. Or I could just be like, I'm just gonna go with the flow. If my mom says we go to church, then I go to church, you know? And that was the part, those two choices that I was faced with. And as a child, I wasn't aware of it then, but now I am aware thinking back. I took the path that was easy, that was like, yeah, it's just church. Like, God, I'm gonna come on an Easter, etc., and those holidays. Oh, that might be offensive. This is not to offend you. Listen, if that's what you're taking out of this video, that's not the point. The point is, I'm trying to demonstrate a point. It's so easy for us to take the easy choice because it requires less effort. AKA, I didn't have to walk every Sunday in um, early morning, wake up early morning to get ready to a church where I wasn't even familiar with people. I would have been placed in such strange surroundings. I would have felt maybe uncomfortable. And maybe my mom wouldn't even have allowed me to go alone. Even better, then she must have had to come with me, you know? But it's always good to be in the house of the Lord with another person with you. But having said that, so it was the easier choice, right, that I took. I wonder what would have happened had I actually put in the effort and taken the other route, where I actually went to church and I put myself in awkward, weird situations that I wasn't comfortable with to actually seek God. Where would I be right now in my journey of faith? How much more would I have known about God that I know now that I really wish that I knew back then? Because I realized that our choices really do cost us our lives, in terms of they cost us from arriving at our future destinations that God has ordained for us. They delay the time that we arrive at that destination, and our choices determine how and when we get to our destination. Some people, they get to the destination they need to be, but it takes so much longer and the journey is so much more painful, full of so many more ups and downs than it should have been. Had they only taken the path that was actually, yes, it was less traveled and it was scary and you didn't know what to expect, but on that path, if only you knew that that's the path in which you would meet God and in which you would actually find so much strength, through which God would guide you and hold your hand, and where you would arrive safely to where you need to be at the appointed time that God has ordained for you to be there. And so I come with this question for you. Which path have you taken in your life, in any area, that has prevented you from being where you have needed to be? That doesn't sound right. Let me rephrase. Which path in your life did you take, and has it led you to where you needed and have always wanted to be? Or has it not, and maybe you're still on the path that you thought was more traveled, more people traveled on it, and that was easier, and you're still struggling to get to your destination and you don't even know how you're going to get to where you want to be, because it's getting harder and harder, because you're trying to do it based off from what other people did, or because of not wanting to take the hard way, not hard way, but not wanting to take the challenging way in which you'd actually have to depend on the Lord, or depend not on your own understanding, but on His will. I really hope that makes you think what path you have chosen, and if you were like me and most people who have chosen that path, the path that was more traveled on, you're not alone. I've certainly, in some areas, I've taken that path and I've tried to just get the easy way out and do it. However, there comes a point in your life where you realize this path is actually so not worth it. I should have taken the other path. And you have two options, really, in my mind, just to keep it metaphorical and abstract in a way, but bear with me. Your first option is to continue on the easier path that you're on now, on the path that is filled with so much stagnation, where you don't really find any true meaning, and where you're not actually moving towards anything. You can stay on that path and just hopefully hope one day that you will eventually get to the destination you need to be at. Or you can, in fact, turn around and get back to that middle point between the paths and take the road of the other path. And so by that, I mean that you're not completely stranded. We've all made choices that we're not necessarily proud of, that we do in fact maybe regret a little bit, or that we may not feel the greatest about or feel the proudest about. But I'm here to tell you that there is still redemption. There's still a chance to turn it all around. And that chance, truly and sincerely, to help you to start getting to that destination where you need to be, where you really want to better your life and take the hard way, even if it means that it's going to be tough, but it's definitely going to get you to where you need to be more efficiently, and that you're going to be more at peace and have much more joy in your life. And the way that you can do that is through not leaning on your own understanding, but on Jesus' understanding, on our God's understanding. And with this I say, it's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy, especially when you're doing it on your own and you have no idea what to do, because in fact, this is our first time on this earth. I've never done life. I'm like 19, I'm on the verge of 20, and that's scary. And let me tell you, as a 19-year-old, life is intimidating sometimes. It's scary. And in the past, when I've done it on my own and tried to do everything through my own strength, it was hard. Although I had my family around me, like there's only so much, that our families can also do and provide us with. But in its truest times where I really needed not to do things on my own, that's when the absence of God was felt, and His hand on my life and His strength in my life. And once I started to learn that I should rely not on myself or on others, because people may disappoint you. That's a fact. People will disappoint you. I know I definitely have had those disappointments, but God will never disappoint you. He's God. And if you feel like He has disappointed you, I really urge you to rethink about that and think of, am I maybe having a wrong perception of God that makes me think that He has disappointed me when He hasn't. And I just want to say that the road that you really want to get yourself on is the one that is less traveled, because in that road, yes, it's not easy, yes, it's going to hurt, you're going to be faced with so many truths, so many things are going to come up where you're really going to be so vulnerable, but it is so worth it, because you have the grace of God with you, you have the favor of God upon your life, and He's with you in that journey.